Yes, you're absolutely right. The result not surprising at all. Perhaps what was surprising was that there was a swap over of Republican and Democrat senators. One Republican, Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, voted against Kavanaugh's nomination, and one Democrat, Joe Manchin from West Virginia, voted in favor. But the final equation was yes, 51 to 49, which means that it's likely that Kavanaugh will go through when the final vote takes place on Saturday night, as is predicted to be then. But it's not 100% certain, because Murkowski and Manchin are going to come under incredible pressure from their respective parties over the next 30 hours before the vote. There's also another unknowable at this stage, a senator called Susan Collins, a Republican who has also expressed doubts about Kavanaugh. She voted in favor of the nomination going through to the next stage, but she says she's holding a news conference at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So obviously all eyes will be on that announcement. What has she got to say? Is she going to explain why she's voting for Kavanaugh, or is she going to say that she's not fully decided yet? So there's still a lot to play for, but at the moment the smart money has to be on Brett Kavanaugh being confirmed as a Supreme Court Justice. I don't know if you can hear out of the camera shot the protesters are making some noise again after they were watching quietly as the actual vote was taking place, but they're obviously fearing the worst as far as they're concerned, and the protests are going to continue here right up until and presumably after that final confirmation vote.
Yes, and presumably, given that the vote is so narrow and there is precedent, and I suppose at least the possibility of that majority being turned around, I mean, we could expect more protests, I guess, in the next 24 hours, couldn't we? It is such a divisive issue.
Oh yes, this has been such a contentious issue right from the start. I mean, because the Supreme Court has played such an important role in American life, being the ultimate arbiter on crucial social issues such as abortion and immigration, the appointment has always been controversial anyway. And then when the allegations about Brett Kavanaugh came out, uncorroborated allegations, it has to be said, but allegations by 3 separate women that he assaulted them or exposed himself, and other people saying that he, talking about his drinking habits, that of course ramped it up to a whole new level of controversy, and that level of controversy has been maintained throughout this. There's been a hugely divisive issue, and you have to wonder, assuming Kavanaugh is confirmed as a Supreme Court Justice, just how that's going to play out in the future. The judges, of course, are supposed to be, although they're political appointees, they are supposed to be non-partisan, calm, rational, in their positions, and of course Kavanaugh's testimony to the to the Senate Judiciary Committee was so emotional, so angry, that that's put a lot of people doubting his capabilities in such an important role, including the American Bar Association, which initially supported him. They've also expressed reservations since that testimony.